Today we're sitting down on the porch with Angela, a QHS member whose life is as heartwarming as a home-cooked meal. What paths did she follow to get to where she is today? Let's take a stroll down memory lane and see what's been cooking behind the scenes.
Hi, my name is Angela O'Neill, and I was diagnosed with an incurable disease when I was around the age 30. I look normal for the most part, so it's hard sometimes for people to really understand the suffering that I have and what I'm going through because it doesn't really show on the outside. They can't really see what this illness does to me. I really long to be able to eat without pain, to know how it actually feels to have real dreams of life again that is free from suffering, and to be more present with my family, my husband, my friends, just to be able to expand myself outside of this little bubble that I kind of am in. QHS has really renewed my hope for my future, given me a reason to dream about a life, of having a life that doesn't involve perpetual suffering and pain, and for years to come. So I'm very, very grateful and very thankful to be part of this project, to feel like through this project, I can contribute in some way to the healing of the world and to bring hope to others. This is my backstory. My family originated in Europe. We came from Norway, Scotland, Ireland, England, those areas. On my mother's side, I am not sure about my father's ancestry because I never really knew him, but my mother has told me that he has Native American ancestry. I was raised in the 60s and 70s. It was a lot different time than now. The children were free a lot more to play, and of course we didn't have the technology and the phones and internet and all those distractions, and we spent a lot of time playing outside with our friends and just a lot of time outside in nature. My parents divorced when I was 8, which was very traumatic for me. It started me on many long years of depression, untreated and undiagnosed, and nobody's fault. I was just a very sad child after my parents divorced. My mother was an artist, or is an artist, and we, as a family, with me and my brother and my sister, up to a point, we traveled a lot. Mother liked to travel on a shoestring. We didn't have money. We were very poor. We were raised on welfare after my parents divorced. And so it was a really challenging time. And my family was broken. My sister was not with us anymore in the home after I was about 12, I think, around that age. But we were all still very close, a lot of love. Always had plenty of love in my home, and I never felt unloved. I did feel at times, maybe unsafe. I felt at times just not having my needs fulfilled, but not in any kind of extreme way, but and no blaming anywhere. Just these were the circumstances that we grew up in. But we had a lot of fun too. My mother was very creative, and every time we had to move or relocate, she made it into an adventure, and really that kind of gives me my or helps give me my adventurous nature myself. I love to explore. I love to be out in nature. I love to travel. Primarily, I like to travel on land. I like to see things as I go along at more of a slower pace. When after I got out of the Air Force, I got married. It was not a good marriage, although there was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun times, and my heart was really in it, but it didn't last, and that really traumatized me, and it changed my life. Actually, it was a pivoting point for me on a spiritual level, because with the religious background that I had been raised in, I had kind of a misconception of what life was really supposed to be about. And when I started seeing that it wasn't really turning out that way, I turned my back on religion and basically just put all of that in a box for a long time. Eventually, I took the box back out because I found out that there were more things to play with in it. And I learned, and I have learned along the way, that my whole entire life has been a spiritual journey from the time I can remember having any understanding of it, which was around the age of 8. And so I have been on this continual path where one thing has just led me to another, to another, to another, to another. And I do feel like it's been very uniquely guided according to the choices that I've made myself in life. I do tend to be different than most people that I am around, and it's been that way ever since I can remember, my whole entire life. And I was bullied as a child because of it. Oddly enough, being teased for being Christian and being teased for being a witch and a number of other different things just because I was different. And so that made things challenging sometimes, but since we never stayed any place for very long, I always knew that it'd be temporary, in and out. I went to 13 different schools growing up. Health-wise, I have a lot of issues. I have a lot of things that I'd like to have to help me get healed from. And a head-to-toe list. I started making a head-to-toe list, and I was like, oh, holy cow, I didn't even know I had all of these other things. And the primary thing that I would like to achieve with the V9 device would be for the healing of the Crohn's disease, and also in a huge way, I have a big hope that this device will help to melt away, and that's kind of the way I see it in my mind, melt away all of the scar tissue that has built up inside my body from years and years of surgeries and damage from inflammation internally. And I want a longer life. And it's interesting, several years ago that I was working in my garden, and it was a beautiful day, and I wasn't really thinking of anything. I was just working in my garden, and I suddenly had an understanding come into my mind. I don't know if I could call it a voice or anything like that, but it was definitely different. And the message was life extension 20 years. At that point, I don't know if I was in my 50s, maybe 40s when that happened. And because of everything that I had been going through and how close I had come to death, it seems so many times, that I really felt like I wouldn't live any past 60. I was kind of seeing 61, thinking, well, that might be as much as this body can take. But that day in the garden, my whole way of thinking changed. And over time, step by step by step, I was led to QHS. And it's because of the intertwining of my spiritual journey and my desire for healing, and how those things interconnected, that brought me here, through our beautiful Alex Collier, whom I have grown to love and cherish in such a way he would never know. I have had the privilege to meet him personally and to thank him personally. And I was an emotional wreck to do it as well. But so very grateful. So grateful for the opportunity not only to heal, but to feel part of a mission that will one day help heal so many people in this world. And I feel very privileged to be here now in this space. And that's what I'm going to give now for my backstory, my prequel, a short synopsis, just a peek into my life and my world, because there's so much more that could be said, but I think that'll do.
Join us on the Prequel, where every story matters and every voice is heard. Because here at QHS, we're all about healing, learning, and growing together.